Welcome to a new video on Universal UK in Bedfordshire. This is Wixham Station. Meant to open in 2015 and 10 years later there is still no station. Delayed again due to Universal Studios, but hopefully soon there'll be a new transport interchange built on this site, the station that the residents need, and hopefully no more delays because it's been a long time. Now these former clay pits drained last time in 2018 for when the business park was going to be built on the site. They'll now be drained again and recreated, dug deeper and made into a large water storage area. The drainage will be improved into the brook, so the core zone will drain through here. There'll be water filtering built and this area will become one large artificial lake. Around the core zone there's still these areas fenced off where they found lizards and reptiles. The couple of snakes. These animals are going to be rehomed into new areas they've built around the site. And you can see here this large plastic fencing around this bit of water. And all the reptiles that they've found will be relocated and moved into new purpose-built, well, it's not property, but habitats that they're creating around the site for these animals to live in. You can see this one here, this large circular area, quite a bit of water in the middle there. You've got the white mats on the floor that they're using to see what's actually here, what insects, what spiders, what reptiles. And quite a large number of brown rats apparently. So they kept putting bait out to find what was living in these areas. And a lot of the bait was taken by a rat. So the rats hopefully will find a new home. There's quite a lot of houses around here. So they'll be hoping that they're not suddenly infested by rats. This area here next to the concrete site, that has a lizard in one of the surveys, and they're hoping to track that lizard down and move it to a new home. So you can see here, this area has been cleared and made into an artificial badger set. There's a small pond, and then at the back there there's some spider housing. Spider housing made of little logs that have been cut off and stacked up so they can move into that, all the little insects. Quite a nice picture here as the leaves have fallen as it's autumn here in the UK. So you've got that little pond there and that'll fill up over winter. Quite a lot of rain due in the next few months. And then you've got this badger set. A couple of every tube that goes into here is being tracked with a wildlife camera to see that the badgers are moved in, because the badgers have to have moved by the end of November, so the former sets can be demolished. There's already one being taken out and meshed over on the concrete pad. There's another 5 dotted around the site, and like this one here, you can see each plastic tube has a wildlife camera on it, so they can see when the badger's actually using the set. At that point they can close down the old one, but that's going to happen by the end of November. There can't be any badgers using the other set, otherwise it'll have to stay in place until the end of the winter. The reptiles and things like that, they're already starting to hibernate, so their current habitats will be left in place. But this one here you can see is already here, and when they're ready to use it, the animals will be moved. They can't be disturbed while they're hibernating this time of the year. Other things now to move would be the great-crested newt. Unfortunately, their hibernation season's now started, so hopefully they've been relocated. This area here, which was well documented on Facebook by Project Universal and on YouTube, was built probably in time, so by the end of October this was well in place. So I wonder if things were moved just before their hibernation period started, or whether this has been put in place now, so when the hibernation period ends, which is in March, the small animals can be relocated into these new established ponds. It would be a bit weird if they were suddenly just dumped into them, I guess. But there was tankers that were filling these. But you know, there's only been a few weeks. You can already see the areas are starting to get grass around them. There was some planting done as well. But yeah, these should fill up over winter, and these will be new habitats for the small animals, the spiders, the newts, and the reptiles that are around the site. It's also in quite a nice area, tucked away at the side near the A421, and it'll soon be merged into this area around it. To the top there, you've got a fishing lake. So this should form part of this nice grassed area. It's away from where they're going to develop anything. There's nothing planned for this area. This area is planned to be an ecology zone. So it should take nice shape over the winter and over the next couple of years and form a nice habitat for the animals that would have been relocated around the site. It's good to see that all this investment's happening before the SDO is even granted. We've seen around the site already houses being bought. There's been purchases of properties. So here we can see Manor Road. I expect that end group of houses soon to be demolished once the SDO was granted. And there was works here on the transport hub where the new junction will be built in the future. So quick overview of the environmental works. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.